As you might have guessed, I'm pretty big into science. I'm pretty big into biology, pretty big into physics. Well, not, all right, listen, I'm not big into physics class, but I am a science enjoyer. I am that meme you see of the Giga Chad who has the science flask and has the science coat. I am a science enjoyer. I am the science man. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I get really, really interested when fascinating stuff happens. And if you're asking why I'm holding my microphone like this, it's because for some reason the audio is really bad. The quality isn't the best, and it sounds really tinny when I have it on my desk here. So I'm going to hold it and I'm going to speak into it so you can hear my sexy voice even more. But regardless, today I have a pretty interesting topic that I'd like to go over that I found actually on TikTok yesterday, I believe. And as a science guy, it's pretty interesting. So let me read it to you here. From CNN, marine researchers on a mission to record life hidden in the world's oceans have reported they found about 100 potential new species, including one mystery starlight creature. The expedition team focused its investigation on the 500-mile, 800-kilometer long Bounty Trough, a little explored part of the ocean off the coast of New Zealand, east of South Island. The scientists' 3-week voyage aboard the research vessel Tangaroa, which belongs to the country's National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research, occurred in February. The team collected almost 1,800 samples from depths as far as 3 miles, 4,800 meters, finding species of fish, squid, mollusk, and coral that they believe are new to science. You've got this big area off the coast of New Zealand where there's just an absolutely paucity of data points. We don't know anything about it, said Dr. Daniel Moore, Expedition Science Manager of Ocean Census, a new alliance launched in April 2023 that aims to identify 100,000 unknown species in the next 10 years. It was true exploration, very exciting. 100 new species, that's a lot. 100 new and a new starfish. 100 new species, that's really interesting. And keep in mind, the ocean, we know more about the moon, our own moon, than our own ocean. Scientists estimate that 95% of the ocean is left unexplored so far, which after all these years, you'd think it'd be a little bit more, but that's insane. 95%, I think it's still 95%, but that's a lot. Still, most of the ocean is left completely unexplored, and it makes me wonder if we already have aliens on our planet, because some of these new species are pretty alien-like. For example, take a look at these dust bunny shit-looking thingies. What are these? It says, as a caption, 2 mystery specimens could be a new species of octocoral or a whole other new group entirely, according to Dr. Michaela Mitchell, a taxonomist at the Queensland Museum Network. And also, what is that? 2 eel pouts that could be new to science were captured in a fishnet 1.7 miles, 2,700 meters, below the ocean surface at the Bounty Trough. What are those things? They look like something that you'd pull out of your cat's brain when it gets surgery. And you see a little shrimp? That's very interesting. And this ultimately just goes to show how far science has really come. Because 100 species in one round of exploration, they're for sure going back there. They are for sure making that a hotspot of new exploration, because that's massive. If you haven't noticed already, this channel really serves as my way of talking to someone, I guess talking to a thing, because I really have no one else to talk about this with. It sounds really depressing and lonely, but I promise it's not that bad. I have people in my life that I can go to for stuff like this, but I just choose not to because no one really finds it as interesting as me. And, if you're trying to have a conversation with someone who just doesn't care, or someone who doesn't quite relate to your level of excitement or interest, then it kind of feels underwhelming. And this video just serves as another stepping stone in the process of me trying to find my niche with this channel, because ultimately I have till the end of college to build this channel into something great. I want to turn it into a business. I want to turn it into a community. I want to ideally turn it into my main source of income, because I really do enjoy this. I love watching myself and listening to my own voice as I edit these videos, and I really do enjoy talking and responding to my comments. It's really fun. It's really fulfilling. But for those of you who are watching who actually care, because I know you are, I am not burning all of my bridges here. I'm not dropping out of college to pursue a YouTube career. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not prioritizing this over my studies, which is the same reason why I've been struggling to put out videos. I've been sick, and there have been many tests and projects coming up. But that's not going to stop me from doing what I enjoy. It's not going to stop me from doing research like this where I look at different science things. It's not going to stop me from uploading videos where I talk shit about other things. It's not going to stop me. So back to what I was speaking about with the whole new New Zealand and new species things. What is this? New species of corals are among the many finds. What is this? What? Get out, get out, get out, get out. Researchers believe this creature may be a new species of carnivorous chitin. Looks like an isopod over there. And then there's this thing. What the hell is that? This is thought to be a new species of comma shrimp. I mean, I guess it's called the comma because you have the dot and then the little comma thing. That's interesting. I wonder if it'll taste good. Quick intermission from the species evaluation we're going on here. I don't eat seafood. I think it's disgusting. I think it's gross. I think it's weird. I used to eat calamari thinking it was cheese, and then until I pulled it apart and saw purple stripes. I will never ever forget that. From Ocean Census, which is I think the website mentioned in the previous two articles, we can see, oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, look at that little manta ray. That's the image we saw earlier. This is the expedition they went on. This is the coral thing. So a lot of the same images are being used, which tells me that there are either a lot of images left to be found for me, just 2 or 3 minute long research process, or they're trying to cover something up, like the government does. When there's I'm gonna cut myself off right there. Stuff like this, to me at least, is very fascinating because it really shows us how far technology has come and how far the human will is willing to go, if you will. It's pretty good, right? I remember when I was eating lunch at the cafeteria, I was scrolling on TikTok as I eat because, I'm a brain rot kid whose dopamine receptors up here are absolutely mind-bogglingly fried. But I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw this, and with the chicken breast in my hand, the fork with the chicken breast on it in my hand, I dropped it right on the table, just completely disgusting. I dropped it and I was like, 100 new species found off the coast of New Zealand? That's insane. And I took my phone here. I took my iPhone and I went 100 species New Zealand, and I found everything I needed to find. It was fascinating, really, and it also piqued my interest as to how fast I found so much information about it in accordance to how new this is. And if anything, if aliens were to exist, I believe a lot of them would be on our own planet. But at the end of the day, the whole topic of do aliens exist is an entirely different topic for an entirely different video that I probably will be making in the future, because I have some pretty strong opinions about that. And to give a little spoiler warning for that video, yes, I 100% know that aliens exist. I don't have proof, but the universe is way too big for there not to be anything. But I don't think they'd be these the tall like gray, like big brain things with like 3 dicks and 2 boobs. Like no, that's not it. That's not what I think it is. I think they'll be insectoids. I think they'll be like roaches. You ever play Helldivers? I think that's what they'll be like. But if they have the technology to reach us, assuming that they can travel at the speed of light, I don't know. It's interesting. But this also is proof to you, my audience, that this channel will not only be a hub of ranting from me, it'll also be a hub of information, of up-to-date different discoveries like these and different tech things. Like recently, Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers, which is a channel I'd absolutely recommend, he did a video on a massive cybercrime. He did a video on, I can't exactly remember what it was, but apparently the world governments took a massive win with something, and I really wanted to cover it, but I just didn't know too much about the topic, so I refrained. So for now, I'd recommend doing your research on this stuff because it really is super fascinating. At least to me it is. So remember, do your research and stay safe.